They can hear me.
Oh, they can hear me too. I'm here now too.
They
Yes.
can hear me as well.
all of the, we're all here.
We're all here. Here.
How's it going?
Good.
Oh. Yeah, you know what? It's going good.
You don't have to lie. It's okay.
Listen, this
It
week
can be not good.
has been good.
Yeah. Good.
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday has been good.
Wow, you start the week on Sunday. That's cool.
That's
What
the
are
way
you,
calendars work.
European or something.
I'm pretty sure it's how it isn't Sunday the first day of the week.
I don't know. Is it?
I believe the first day of the week is Monday. That's why everybody gets a case of the Mondays.
But the song Sunday, Monday, happy day. Sunday comes first.
Television does not dictate my life.
Whoa,
sir.
Happy Days is my Bible.
That's concerning.
Happy Days is your Bible?
All praise the fawns.
This is a Family Guy joke, and I'm not gonna let you get away with it.
Is it?
Yeah, have you never seen that?
If I have, I don't
Peter
remember.
invents the Church of the Fawns. It's like an entire Family Guy episode, 100%.
No, I don't know that I saw that one, but that's... Damn it, Family Guy did it first. Does that mean The Simpsons did it before that?
Yeah, Simpsons did it. Simpsons had Trump as president in the 90s, so...
Yeah, that was... Someone
They
needs to
know.
call them. We need we need their help. Oh, I guess I should probably...
I
Hello.
feel like deep sigh is kind of a big mood these days.
Yeah.
Deep
Yeah.
sighs.
Like, just the deepest sigh.
Yeah, well, I can get that.
Just one of those things. I don't know. Like, turning it on for stream and stuff is... That's the old way. The new way is just to, like, go on stream and be like, guys, I shouldn't even be alive. Much less talking to you.
I'm doing great, man.
Here we are.
Jeez.
Yeah, what's happening in your world?
What's going
Wade?
on?
That's concerning. That's not good.
It's... Look, this week has been a good week.
You keep saying that. You keep saying that, not elaborate. You say,
I
this week
gotta
has been a good
convince
week.
you something
My
about
life
marketing.
is in shambles and misery, but this week, good week.
It's been good.
If you can't
Been
say
a good week.
specifics,
Like your
say
mouth.
allegorically. Like, tell it like with similes and metaphor.
Sadness, pain, illness, tired, stress, blood.
If you're going for a haiku, you're way off on the number of syllables already.
Damn it.
You did it wrong.
Is it 474? I don't like pain, but this is the way it is. I have 2 dogs. Is that a haiku? Did I do it right? Is it 474?
I think it's 575, but
Damn it!
I'm gonna
Put the
let you
damn
have
at
it.
the start and the end at the end, and that's my haiku.
You made even more efficient poetry, so I'm not gonna hold that against you.
You guys sure it's not 474? I don't know. How many haiku experts are really out there watching?
Mark, you would know.
Yeah, wait, why?
Because you're a literary
You're a literal
scholar,
man.
aren't you?
Thank you. I couldn't hear your compliment, Bob, over Wade's butting in of the joke. But
Thank you.
what was it, Bob?
I
What
said
am I?
that you're a gentleman and a scholar,
Thank you.
and the literary arts are what you know.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, it's 575. Maybe, I don't know.
The scholar has spoken.
Well, we're inventing new poetry. We're gonna invent the 474.
Yeah, why can't people invent new poetry?
It's gonna be called the IQ. We're gonna take one letter off, one syllable off. The IQ. It's like
Isn't that be
IQ.
464 then?
We leave the middle alone. Sevens are good.
Oh, okay.
474.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
You have to have a high IQ to tell a good IQ.
Keep going, man. This is good stuff.
Barbecue.
This is an excellent start.
Q from Star Trek.
Uh-huh.
I need to buy new pants.
You got it.
I'm sorry. Please explain the connection between Q from Star Trek and you need to buy new pants. I'm too fascinated not to know.
I don't know, man. My brain, it's kind of
You can
it's
do
kind
it.
of like smushed together a little bit. So like you're driving on the highway and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna drive from Ohio to Indiana, but Indiana's kind of squashed down. So I went from Q straight to pants, and I skipped my normal in betweens because the road is just kind of smushed together. So I ended up right in the middle of Idaho when I thought I was going to Indiana.
There's literally nothing in there? I had such high hopes.
Not this time. Not this time.
Did I miss where the pants came into this?
No, he was just trying to explain that there was no reason for the pants at all.
All right, but where did the pants come in?
He
They
just thought
shouldn't.
of pants and said pants.
All right.
Yeah.
That's the tweet.
Q seems like the kind of person that would have something to do with pants.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. There's a connection there to be made.
Uh-huh.
No.
All right.
I'm with you, Wade. You can do this.
I'm not with you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we got some hard-hitting news that we gotta address.
do we?
Yeah, we do. Definitely.
Dude,
Hard hitting is
okay.
my favorite.
Of the
Well,
type.
bring us up to speed, sir.
Well, I will, and I'll explain it because. Chad, what's happening now? What's happening now?
Huh?
What's going on? No, shut up. I'm not talking to you. Chat, what's going on in the world of gaming that we can talk about?
We have hard hitting news, and you're gonna tell us right now.
Look, man, I got it. Just stop listening to me. Why are you
I'm
butting into
not
my private
talking to my
conversation?
chat.
This is the people's news source. The people will tell us the news, and we will be the source of it.
There's no news.
I mean, there's probably not news.
Probably
Wait,
not.
wasn't there a
Happened in the
Ubisoft
last 2
conference
weeks.
like last week that
A
we missed?
Ubisoft
Yeah,
conference.
Ubisoft Forward.
Ubisoft. Isn't that how they want to be pronounced?
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't care. I don't care what they want. Who cares what they want?
Wait, who are you to judge me saying Ubisoft anyway? Whenever, what do you?
Viable?
You-
I don't know if that's a viable
says-
pronunciation.
You say
Look,
words.
This isn't
weird.
about me questioning your pronunciation of it. I'm saying, what does it have to do with the hard-hitting gaming news that we have right now? Get to the
It's a
point.
gaming company that had a big gaming conference.
So talk about it. What was it?
I didn't watch it.
Okay, then what the
I didn't
fuck?
read about it.
All right,
I barely
all right.
even heard of it.
All right, we're talking about Ubisoft Forward. Okay, so do you guys like Assassin's Creed? Anyone here play Assassin's Creed?
Oh yeah, Valhalla.
Once
that
or
should
twice,
be good.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
well that's what I was building up to, but thanks, yeah.
You're welcome. I skipped to the end.
So it's Vikings Assassin's Creed, which we all care a lot about.
I'll play it.
And it's probably really good.
Cool.
I don't know. I haven't played an
That's it.
Assassin's Creed game since like Origins. So, well, that's not true. Did you guys play Odyssey? Did you guys play the
I
Greek one?
started to play. I didn't finish it.
No,
I thought
I-
about doing it on stream, but I
I
haven't.
played Assassin's Creed 1 and that was it. I never went to any other of them.
Dude,
They
that's
got-
it.
I
They
literally
definitely got
no.
better than one, but then I don't know. It kind of plateaued for me after I think it was like Brotherhood.
Well, I mean, 1 was in the last period of time when I kind of played games for myself. Like, I haven't really done that in a long time. Just like actually play a game from start to finish just because I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like most
Yeah, that's
recently,
Is it possible to finish games?
not for me, not on my channel anyway.
I 100% did technically 4 games.
Sorry,
This
most
year.
recently. Go ahead, I interrupted you.
Oh, it's okay. I just Hitman 2 and I've been playing a little bit.
What?
Yeah.
What a random thing.
I don't know. I was just I saw Sips playing it, and I was just like, yeah, you know, he seems terrible at this. Maybe I could be a little bit better at it. And then I was. I was
Damn.
much better. No, you don't
When did
understand.
Hitman 2 come out?
A while ago. But also, hang on, let me get to this point. If you've ever seen, like, Sips, I've never met him. I've never spoken to him, but I watch him on occasion. If you've ever seen Sips play a game, it's like ripping nails out every single time, because he, like, look, he's not stupid. I'm not saying that, but his ability to see context clues, prompts, situational awareness, and just general, like, it doesn't matter how long he's been playing a game. He could play a game for like 40 hours straight, and still 40 hours into it, he's like, what button do I press to do this? And he's like, oh, how did they detect me? While he's standing in the middle of the doorway with a gun out, and he's just like, what the hell? He's like, oh my god. It's just like, he's very funny and entertaining to watch, but also it makes me want to rip my eyes out.
So why do you continue to go back and watch?
Because occasionally it's funny.
Do you watch me?
No.
All right.
I'm not gonna ask. I don't want to know.
Why
All right,
not?
so-
What's up?
So speaking of watching each other's YouTube channels, do you know what I went back and watched and made me come to a sad realization about myself?
Yes.
Somehow YouTube recommended to me one of our videos of improv that we made during the intensive week before the tour.
Oh, yeah.
And so I went down this weird rabbit hole of watching all of the try not to laugh with the motto in our mouth challenge stuff, and the change and the 5 things that just all the stuff, the improv stuff that's on
Yeah.
your channel.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is in line with your reaction of cringing really intensely and camp. But also, some of that stuff from while we were on tour, we were so much funnier when we were really focusing and practicing than I feel like we are normally.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me.
Wait,
Go-
in
go-
the intensive or on the tour?
On the tour, the later stuff. So it
Yeah.
started in the early stuff. The early stuff is so cringy that it really physically hurts. The stuff that we recorded like in Australia and on the tour, some of the stuff we recorded while we were all like in our comedy prime, you know? It's way funnier than I am now, and I don't think I'll ever be that funny again. I think I'm completely washed up. And
Alright.
it led me to the sad realization. I think you should watch. It's surprising because I have all these memories of the tour of it not being very funny and generally feeling, you know, having mixed feelings about it
Yeah.
and how we did. But honestly, some of that shit in those later videos is actually really funny. I don't know if it's good improv, but it's funny.
No, I think it's good because once you like do it enough, you can start to play around with it, and that's when you're comfortable with it, right? So like, I would agree that some of the old stuff that I posted was cringy, but also people love that. Like, people really do, and there was a certain charm to it, even though like not everything landed. I think the awkwardness kind of made it funny, in a weird way. But definitely, we're better than we were then. And I wouldn't necessarily say that we're worse now or you're worse in terms of being funny. It's just like the dynamics of that specific situation haven't come up again.
That's true. We've never been around each other as a group of 5 before or since the tours, even remotely that much.
Yes, exactly. Actually, it was at the end of the tour or towards the end of it that we decided to do this here.
Yeah.
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 We were in Australia, right? We were in one of the hotels in Australia whenever we got together.
We're sitting in on that balcony in that hotel
Yeah.
where we had the rooms with the balconies.
Yes.
Every good decision I've been a part of that's involved Mark in some ways happened to happen on a balcony.
Dude, balconies are magical. Something
Go back
about
to another balcony. We should all three just hang out on balconies. We would probably fix everything in the world.
Just live in a house that's like 90% balcony, 1 bedroom surrounded by sprawling balconies in every direction.
Yeah, find a way to cheat
cigars,
it.
our healthy cigars that we invented.
The
Oh, I
entire-
think so. I think it's a good idea.
The entire apartment is actually outside. It's hung up on like thin wire and like fishing line, just enough to be considered a balcony. So we get the benefit of it at all times.
that sounds reasonable and sustainable. I think we should do that.
Yeah, okay. Till it collapses, and then we fall to our doom. But it's hilarious when we do.
It would be a good idea if that happened.
Yeah,
Only good ideas happen on balconies.
that's what you said. Therefore,
I stand by it.
I think that's a pretty accurate summary of the Ubisoft presentation. You know what else came out this past week? What? We got there.
we sure did. We sure did.
Any of you bros interested and excited about Ghosts of Tsushima?
I've seen everyone playing it. I haven't seen any of it myself.
Yeah, I've seen gameplay. It seems like super fun game. I just haven't had time to.
I've heard it's pretty.
It's very pretty. If you follow Robin on Instagram, Twitter, he has been playing it and just basically screwing around with the photo mode, and he's taking some very beautiful in-game shots. Robin Torkar.
Does Steam just not work anymore? I swear to God, Steam, the navigation of the store just doesn't work anymore. I'll like try to hit buttons and
The
it's
Steam
like
store is garbage.
Steam store. Like what happened to it? Like the store section doesn't work ever. It's just like
you looking
buttons.
More people are at home due to
No, I was
coronavirus
trying to
and stuff,
get
so-
out of Steam's. Like I was in the Hitman page and I hit the store button and it only refreshed this Hitman page and then started playing the trailer music again. And I'm like, I want to go to the home page. You don't have a home page button. I gotta hit the store. What are you doing? I don't know. Anyway, what were we
All
talking?
of Steam doesn't work well. The library doesn't work well. The store doesn't work well. Everything. It's as soon as the pandemic hit, it feels like internet companies are just like, let's tone down how good our internet is, and it feels like Steam went to shit. Everything's gone to shit.
Man, you're
I don't
being,
think it's
ending!
that.
you're being
I think it's
pessimistic,
just
man.
Steam. I think it's literally just Steam.
Yeah, I
It
think
could,
Steam.
it could just be Steam.
Yeah, Steam's just like, I don't know how they've managed to win in terms of all the various game stores, desktop clients, because like, say what you want about EA or EA, no, not Origin. Origin sucks. Epic, the Epic Game Store. At least the Epic Game Store is navigable and works.
That's it. You have an undeniable point there. Honest to goodness.
At least I can click buttons and get to where I want. Or, you know, when I buy a game, I can hit install and it actually installs the game. I don't have to go to my games list, search for it, then hit install.
Oh, does that not work for you?
No.
Oh, that's annoying.
It's very annoying.
I miss discs and disk drive installations.
Where you could read the manual while it was installing and waiting for disc 2 to be popped in, huh? Yeah, good.
Yeah,
time.
or the ones that got real fancy where they had like 5 different background images you could look at during the like 3-hour install.
And they had game tips written on the installation page so that you know how to play before you get to the game.
Oh, the good times. The good times.
I remember when boxes were this big as a book. Yes, but now they're tiny. Digital. Don't even come with a book.
Yeah. Keep talking.
Why? Bob, you have an opinion?
I couldn't. I tried not to laugh out loud. I
Good,
couldn't
great.
do it.
Okay, good.
That's a good.
Are we doing a try not to laugh today? Is that our whole podcast is a try not to laugh?
Yeah, live, man. Let's do it live. Let's do it
Great.
live.
I just typed
Is that what the thing was called that we did when we were out there? We had to try not to laugh, or we were trying to make somebody laugh?
It
We
was
didn't
the Don't Laugh Challenge.
Don't laugh. Okay.
Don't laugh.
Oh, that was the most
Otherwise-
miserable like 6 hours of my life.
Don't laugh.
But we got such memorable lines out of it. Don't you remember all the bits that?
I just remember feeling not funny for like 3 straight hours.
What was that one that I can't even remember now that the comments really liked? What I say to Ethan? What's up, my crazy boys?
Yeah, that was one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but think of how much
Count
better
gold.
we are for suffering through those moments.
prove
Well, the
how
videos
much
turn out
better we
fine
are.
because the videos are like the broken down highlights of it, but like to record one of those and to actually get usable stuff from just hours of like, hey, laugh at me please.
Well, I mean,
There's a
nothing.
lot of that in those videos. You act like there's not, but that's most.
I
of the
don't.
videos.
I won't watch them.
well, I think part of it is like we were trying too hard not to laugh. I think there had to be like some general agreement that this was gonna end at some point. And see, like the longer it goes, the less funny it becomes. So then like we just have to keep slogging through. Like with Tyler all like bless him, but like he always loves to win. So like once he got to a point, it was like nothing was gonna make him laugh. I would have
I
to.
think everyone. I don't think anybody laughed that whole day.
I know.
I remember.
I know, and there was some really funny stuff too, but everyone had to
Not
win.
funny enough.
I think you gotta all sit down before you start recording and watch like Caddyshack or something until you get to one of the really good laugh moments. Or like watch like the Chevy Chase scenes from Caddyshack, and then right before you get to the punchline and you're about to start laughing, jump up, start recording the video, so everyone's got the juice flowing. You know?
Yeah, juice. Yeah, the juice.
That's I'm still surprised how popular that was in terms of like a genre on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, I think Smosh still does it. I think they did a live show with that.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. Crazy times, am I right? Crazy times.
Crazy times. But look at us
Anyway,
now.
we were talking about this. Gaming news. I think that's
Yeah.
an accurate summary of what did I bring up? Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, Ghost of Tsushima. that was that. That concludes our
there's
Ghost
a
of Tsushima segment.
There's a new game out this week. This will be a new segment I'd like to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Wade was talking about this before the stream. Have you heard of Ooblets?
Yeah. Apparently,
Yep.
from what Bob literally said word for word before the stream, it combines Stardew Valley, Pokemon, Army, and other words.
Army? Yeah.
Farming? Not army.
Farming? You're trying to say Harvest Moon, the other game that I...
Yeah,
Farming guy.
farthest moon. Farthest moon.
Sure.
Yeah, that's why I got a double cheeseburger today. It was really good. Are we actually gonna talk about this game?
Yeah.
No, I was just sort of using that to move the conversation along. We don't have to talk about any of this dumb stuff. Who gives a shit about games? Games are dead.
Yeah.
Did you see that artist's rendering of what the society will become, what humans will look like in 50 years if game culture continues to take over?
The one with like the two different arm lengths and like the
Yeah.
weird hips.
We showed that on stream a couple months ago.
We did, yes. We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In all seriousness, though, I do want to try out Ooblets. I've been wanting to try that.
Yeah, that
Except
was
for the fact that apparently there's one that's kind of like bald mime looking, and everyone says it's me.
Well,
So,
does
you
it look like you? I think that's the question.
Not to
I
me,
thought
but
you were a lump stump.
what does
The
that
one
mean?
that looks like a little tree stump. It's just the name encapsulates.
That might be the
more
one.
than-
Is that the one? Chad, is that the one that Pat and everyone else is
I do have to
photoshopping me on?
say, if you're considering playing the game, it's on the Epic Game Store. Things in the game. Some of the creatures are named Lump Stump, Dumb Bird, Clomper, I think is one of them. Sidekey. They're adorable little creatures, but everything in the game is named like by someone who's having a stroke. It's all very cute, woo, and so on. But everything is named. It's not. You don't get wood. You get plankies and clothlets. And like, if chat kept telling me, well, because I streamed a bit of it, chat was like, I can't tell if you're okay or not. I feel like you're having a stroke or I'm having a stroke. Why aren't you saying real words? Because you find yourself saying these crazy ass sentences.
Well, I think it's fascinating. I don't know anything about the game, but it is fascinating because if I remember correctly, Ooblets was a game that a lot of stink was raised because they were one of the first indie developers that went from like Kickstarter to being EA or Epic Game Store exclusive. Yeah, they sold out.
Sold out.
Sold out.
Game and profit off of it, those monsters.
And monsters. But it is fascinating because I haven't heard a peep about that. I haven't heard a peep. And that's because it's been like a year since that like story broke, and yet like there's been no repercussions for it. Is it because like Epic Game Store is normalized now, or is it because
The angry cancel mob can only be angry at one thing at a time, and they had to move on. So the mob it's not there right now. They'll come back.
yeah? For the record, I don't care. Like I'm not saying they're bad in any way for doing that. Like it is what it is. But at the same time, it's like fascinating how much the outrage just bubbles up and then immediately goes away, and it's like it has no repercussions except giving people anxiety.
Yep.
Yeah. I have no greater commentary to say about that, but it is fascinating. Fascinating.
I'm just happy to be here. I got nothing to say about nothing.
How's your life going?
Me?
You're great for a talk show, Bob. I like having you on here.
I felt sarcastic, but
No. You bring up good
started-
topics. You were the only one making topics for us for a very long time for this. You're the
has that
MVP.
changed?
Well, no, you still brought up all the topics today.
Yeah, I brought them all up, didn't I, Mark?
Yeah, you did.
All of them.
All of them. Mhm.
I have one more. You actually just spurred this question in my brain, Mark.
Okay.
So good job getting in my
Happy
brain.
that.
You said you haven't played a game for yourself in a long time.
Mhm.
That you've been playing Hitman. So I want to compare, I guess. I'm trying to force us to talk about something, and this is kind of nostalgic and kind of on topic. When I was a kid, I feel like I grew up really into games. I spent a lot of time thinking about playing games. I enjoyed them for whatever. I'm not going to explain my reasons now, but I had a reason I liked games, and I had things that I sort of ways I felt about them. I feel like it's really different now. My life has taken this turn. I've been streaming and doing YouTube and all this stuff. Games is such a weird thing for me because it was like a core part of my childhood in a very like pure and traditional gaming sort of way. Now it's this crazy ass thing where it's like sometimes I play games wholly for myself. Sometimes I play a game that I'm interested for no other reason than I like it and it's fun. But there's a lot of time I spend thinking about and playing games completely not for myself. And I feel like, Mark, I kind of know where you're coming from on this. But have you ever do you have any thoughts about like how you thought about games as a kid, how you viewed them, and what they mean to you now, and how it has changed?
I mean, yeah, it's completely different. Because when I was a kid, games were like the main focus of my life. Just playing them, enjoying them. I had other hobbies, and obviously I was going to school. But when it came down to games, it was like that was what I was always thinking about and looking forward to. And I would play games slowly, and I would play them methodically, and I would play them to explore every avenue. I would do all the side quests, and I would do like everything that I could, and I would like replay levels all the time. I would do it over and over again. Now, like, I'll only play a game if it's either got mechanics that I really, really enjoy, or if it's got a story that I am compelled to see the ending of, and that's getting rarer and rarer these days. Like games that center around like good story, and oftentimes those games are so long that I just don't have time to play them to the length that like it would take to get it. So my approach is completely different from gaming. It is very far removed from where I was as a kid. For better.
I think
or worse.
things change whenever it shifts from being something you want to do in your free time to being your job. And I also think we experience games differently because we've played, we all do a pretty wide variety of things. We've tried games of all types of genres. We've tried multiple games in every genre at this point, and it's hard and it's rare to find a game that really changes gaming for us now. Whereas like every game that came out when we were young, a lot of them were so new, like new genres were popping up and new ways of approaching games. When WoW came out, that was world changing and still is to this day to an extent. But also, I didn't play a different game every day when I was a kid. It was like I had maybe 3 to 5 games I would play in a year. And like Diablo 2, for example, Diablo 2 came out like 1998, and I played that up until Diablo 3 came out in 2010. Like that was a game I played for 11 or 12 years. The only game that's somewhat comparable to that now is Minecraft, and I don't hop on Minecraft nearly as often as I did Diablo 2.
Yeah.
It's once in a blue moon because there's so many other games to play and stream and record. And whenever you feel like you're compelled to play a game or a certain game each day, it takes away from that want to an extent, because it's like, well, I gotta play this today, even though I'd like to try this game out, but I need to finish this one first. And like when you're growing up, that's not a thought you have. It's just like, I'm gonna play Spyro today. Or your friend's available, so it's like, oh, let's go play Twisted Metal 2 tomorrow. Let's play Diablo 2, or whatever have you. There's just so many different factors that make it different.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, and this always makes me feel weird because I feel like this isn't the way people talk about games, but I think it's because people who do talk about games like professionally, I guess they come from a similar background. That's just not the one. Games for me has always been a social thing. even single player games. When I was a kid, I used to go over to my buddy Bulwark's house, and we would lay in his basement, and I'd watch him play like Time Splitters on the GameCube, or like Skies of Arcadia, or like single player. I mean, Time Splitters had multiplayer, but I'd watch him play like campaigns, right? We'd watch each other play single player campaigns, and I'd be like, when I was a kid, it was just whatever, and I didn't have any. The games I enjoyed playing were like Halo, mostly Halo 2,
Yeah.
Halo 3. Like, I played those really intensely at LAN parties, but it's funny because it still feels like it's a social thing for me, but it just, the fact that it's work definitely has changed that. But yeah, it's I guess I have two questions spurring from this. The first one would be, do you think it's better or worse? Do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing how your sort of internal relationship with gaming has changed? Is we go Mark first?
I mean, good.
Or is there good and bad? It could be both.
Yeah, I think there is both, but also it's like it's not really a good or bad thing. It's like what fits my life. Because I was the same way, you know, I would play one game for a while, or I'd have to play one game because, you know, it would be a while before the next game. But also just like today, I think I have a much more healthy relationship with games because it wasn't necessarily a good thing that my entire life was revolved around games. I'm not saying like it's damaging to people, but also like it excludes me from doing a lot of other things. Like I wasn't the social type of gaming person. Me and my brother would often play games, but we would be kind of like, I want to play this. I don't want to watch you play it. I want to play, you know. So we would have our own experiences with games, and very rarely would we come together and actually play a game. But now, like, you know, I find games are good because I don't feel a compulsion to finish all these games. I don't feel like a need to play the latest title or like the cool game that comes out. Even though I would be interested in playing Ghost of Tsushima, like I don't feel this urge to. Like the way I compare it now is like with books. My relationship with books have changed. And yes, I read mostly Warhammer books, but whenever a new one comes out, I'm like, I have to read that now, and it like gets in the way of a lot of things. So, and I'll finish it in like 2 days, but it'll be like, that was 2 days that are gone. Like all of my free time was to read that book. And like I think that's the compulsion I had before. And I can still enjoy games, and I can still play games and like spend some quality time with myself with them. So I think just generally the balance is better. So good and, you know, bad that I don't play as many or spend as much time for myself, but good in that I don't need to.
I'm torn because I mean, I consider you two more introverted than me. I've always kind of been a little bit more of an extrovert. And to me, growing up, it was couch co-op. Even on single-player games, it was having a friend over and like taking turns playing Grand Theft Auto much younger than we should have been playing it, or you know, on single-player games like that. Then there was the game like the original Diablo on PlayStation. My friend and I would each have a controller. We'd sit there talking and playing. But we always had a pretty good balance of playing games together, sitting there on the couch playing games together. Our diet was atrocious. We'd go through so many sodas and junk food. But we'd always go outside and like play basketball or something afterward or before. I spent a lot of time outside as a kid, even though I felt like I played games all the time too. But I had a decent balance. Whereas now I feel like I'm almost always just inside playing games. I mean, you know, when people grow up, most people, at least before, settled down, had families, and like, you know, your friendships kind of suffered strain because focus became more centralized on the family, and everyone kind of had their own family thing going on. I feel like gaming is good because it helps us keep in contact over long distances. We have a reason to stay in contact with everybody as we're getting older and growing up and doing our own things. And doing this for a job, obviously, we have an excuse to all still hang out and do stuff together and chit chat a lot too. But with the games themselves, I don't feel as impacted by most games or franchises now as I did when I was younger. And a lot of that could just be nostalgia. Like, you know, Minecraft jumps out, the game Days Gone jumps out as games that have totally popped, that stick with me, that I really have enjoyed. But growing up, it's like I think of Spyro and Crash Bandicoot and Twisted Metal and Diablo, and like all those games they're in my mind of like best games I ever played, and they're all older ones. And I think that was just because at the time they were all so fresh, unique, and new. I'd never played anything like Spyro the Dragon because there was nothing else really like it. Whereas now there's so many indie games, so many AAA titles, so many remakes and redos and spin-offs and like so on and so forth, that there's just a huge variety out there, where it makes it hard for a game to pop quite as much. But I think the one thing that I miss, that it wouldn't even apply because there's not a whole lot of people still living near me, but the couch co-op aspect of just hanging out in person, kicking back, having sodas, or, you know, I guess at this point in our life we could have alcohol or whatever have you, just hanging out with friends in person, playing games, going and hanging out outside. For me, going to play basketball. Like, I miss those kind of memories, and so many games are oriented to online play now, which is great for us. That the co-op, I remember when couch co-op and split screen started being less of a thing, and I hated it at the time. But it's just that split off between making things more accommodating for people far away, rather than having your buddy down the street come hang out on the couch with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like the change in my relationship with video games has been probably good for me. I'm sure you may remember, Mark, in college especially, gaming was, when I was younger, a thing that I would do with friends, because I could just walk over to a friend's house or whatever, and it was normal to just sort of like hang out in someone's basement, or just like go walk around the neighborhood and like listen to music and talk about whatever. But the older I got, like through high school and into college, gaming became a thing that was like how I isolated myself, especially as online gaming became an option. Remember, I can't believe you slept through it, but there were so many nights freshman year of college where I would stay up until whenever on our little TV in our dorm room playing like COD 4 online against, on crappy college Wi-Fi, just like lagging, playing pistols against people. I feel like for a long time, until I started doing it online with you guys and streaming with chat there, gaming was like the way that I isolated myself, because I didn't, like you said, Wade, you didn't do it on the couch next to anybody. And I just increasingly played games like Counter-Strike and Call of Duty and things where it was like alone in my room. If I wasn't working or if I didn't have to be somewhere, I was probably on my Xbox by myself. So I think it's good for me, but I don't know if it's that much better. Like, I still have kind of an unhealthy, obsession with sitting and playing and staying up late and everything, even now. It's weird.
Yeah, I do miss, like I said, the couch co-op thing, but like I said, there's something to be said about nostalgia affecting my memory of everything before. Because I mean, in all honesty, it's probably not all that different, but like, whenever I think back, I think about a lot of the good memories and things like that, rather than just in general how things was. But yeah, I spent, like I said, I had a very good balance back then of like spending time outside, exercise. Like, I was in great physical shape back whenever we were in junior high school. And I definitely played a lot of games in my free time, but we had to balance school with going outside and doing sports and things, and then also gaming. And I still feel like I put way more time into, like, especially the game like Diablo 2, Roller Coaster Tycoon, Twisted Metal, those franchises, than I should have. But I don't know, somehow, some way, I feel like I've got so much less time now. And I definitely feel like as it's become our career, there are definitely games I'm like, well, I'd love to play that, but I don't think people would care to watch it. And like, it sucks that that's part of the reason I make decisions now, rather than just literally playing things I feel like playing and not playing the things I don't want to. Better about it than I was like 5 or 6 years ago, whenever I used to try to play the game of jumping on everything that I think was going to do well, and ignoring the stuff. Was like, well, that'd be fun, but who's gonna watch that? Not playing that. Not touch that with a 10-foot pole. Am I right, guys? Am I right? Whereas now it's like, definitely not playing that. I don't care if it's the most popular game out there. I don't feel like playing that. I would play this. But you still have to some degree, make those kinds of decisions with gaming whenever it's your job. Which is why everyone who's like, wait, I want to do Twitch and YouTube for a career. It's like, don't. Do it for a hobby, and that way you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Just keep it there, and if it grows, great. If it doesn't, so be it. But it does. It's hard sometimes whenever gaming is your only outlet, but it's also your job, especially during the pandemic. Because I still very much like rely on gaming to get through stress sometimes.
Anyway, I thought I had another question, but I forgot it while we were talking. So.
Great, good.
That's all I got on that one.
Good
So
stuff.
how will we proceed? And that's Ooblets, everyone.
And that's
And
it.
that is the summary of Ooblets, new indie game out on the Epic Games Store.
Yes,
Use
yes,
creator
yes.
code MySkirm at checkout to give me the money.
Yes. Yes. In other news. Whoa, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so
You all right?
sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You good? You good?
I'm sorry. Yeah. In other news. What even is there? What is anything? What is anything?
I have avoided the news and social media like the plague for like the last month. I have no idea what's going on anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't honestly know, man. I feel like we're entering a weird part of I want to say it's quarantine or whatever, stay at home. I feel like we're entering just a weird time in terms of how long people have been sort of isolated, what's happening in the world still, and the level of, I feel like, fatigue that it seems like people are starting to feel around everything and how terrible everything has been. And
I just can't handle
just
the
don't.
stupid. The amount of stupid out there, it pains me so much. That's the number one reason I've avoided social media, is just avoiding seeing how many goddamn idiots are out there and have the ability to type on a phone. It hurts.
That
It
is
physically hurts.
the biggest problem with social media, is that there's no, like, for better or for worse, everyone is able to say literally anything. And there's no differentiation between who is who. Like, there's no accountability for what is said. There's no the results. Because a lot of people would be like, oh, but free speech. And I'm like, yeah, of course, free speech. But just because you can say something doesn't mean that there aren't consequences for what you say. And in standard social settings, like, of course, if I went up and I said to someone, you're an asshole, I hate you, like, and I just started, like, spewing derogatory stuff, like, I should not be surprised when that person punches me in the face. I really should not be surprised. And that is, like, the consequence of my, like, just the kind of things that people feel like they can hurl at any given moment online, like, with complete anonymity, and it's just like blasting it out there and no consequences is astonishing. And I think you see it a lot on people that do in real life spew their random bullshit or racist rants, and then they're filmed and then they're put out on blast to everybody, and then they suffer the social consequences for it. I think that's like the other side of it. Like, that's it's starting to be like, originally social media had no repercussions. Now it's having profound repercussions, but for a very select few people. You know what I mean? It's
Well, the ones that scare me, like the general idiots out there suck, but the ones that scare me are the ones that have influence. I don't know if you guys keep up with basketball at all, but Dwight Howard, who was a big Orlando Magic player for a long time, he's with the Los Angeles Lakers right now. They had this big bubble. They call it the bubble down, I think, of Disney in Orlando, Florida, and they're trying to get the NBA to go back to playing and get the playoffs and stuff. And Dwight Howard got in trouble for not wearing a mask, which is one of the the requirements for players to be there. They have to wear a mask in the proper locations, what have you. Not once, but twice. And then he posted a video about being anti-vaccination, anti-mask, and yada yada yada. And it's like, people with a platform, with fans, with followers that are fucking stupid is scary, because then they're spreading these things, and then their fans will be like, oh, Dwight Howard said I don't need to wear a mask and that vaccinations are bad, therefore let me spread some stupid. And like, it's not just him, but just people that have any kind of platform that are fucking stupid. It hurts, because you know that that's just leading to a whole nother generation of stupid. And not that we are perfect by any means, but I feel like we all try to at least do right by our audience and encourage them to think and see things with a little bit of thought behind it, not just like taking knowledge and spewing it back out. Like, you know, I don't want anyone to take what I say for granted. Do some research, do some critical thinking, come to your own conclusions. But like, some things are just so dumb. And to have people that have a platform just spreading it out there, that's one of the scariest things to know. Like, in this day and age, there's just people think zero about the fact that they have this huge impact, and I feel like we have a responsibility of being in the public eye of trying to be decent people at the very least. I don't know if you guys can
well,
if you have anything to say.
What's even worse is like in his mind, obviously he doesn't think that he's spewing idiocy. He's thinking he's doing exactly what you're saying, which is trying to inform his audience as horrifically wrong and damaging as it is. And that's like the problem with social media is like everyone feels that they're right at all times, and it's so unbelievable.
How does a brain function? How do you manage to get food onto your fork into your mouth when your brain can come to those kinds of conclusions? God, I wish that their brain didn't function in other avenues, just so they'd be like, well, all right, can't function at all. I'm gonna lock myself inside. Can't use a phone. It's like, oh, thank God. But no, they still manage to do other things. Sorry, too mad.
God, I'm just imagining Dwight Howard like with a spoon and a plate of mashed potatoes, and he's just like, if I only could figure this out. It's the damn vaccine. It's a problem. I can't get this. Oh my God. Yeah, no, it's a problem, and it all starts from, like, I think just like. I mean, I am not an expert in psychology and stuff like that, so I can't make any claims about how people think about certain subjects or whatnot. But I will just anecdotally reference to like South Korea. I've talked about South Korea before and how they handle things that are public health crises or public crises in general. They have very much a mentality. In general, not everyone, there's exceptions wherever you go, obviously. But in general, like the mentality is if there's a crisis, then we all need to work together to try to fix it. With when COVID-19 came to Korea, like everyone, almost everyone, obviously not everyone, almost everyone, agreed that you needed to do what you had to do to protect your fellow citizen and your neighbor. Everyone started wearing masks, everyone started being hygienic, everyone started social distancing, and they went from, they started testing in the hundreds of thousands, like just testing preventatively everywhere, isolating, tracing, and just trying to contain the disease, doing everything possible to contain the disease. And that's because everyone agreed on it. And obviously there were exceptions, but to this day, I think the number of deaths in South Korea to COVID is in the mid 200s. Out of a population of 50 million, mid 200s.
200s?
200s.
Huh.
Hundreds, yes. It's like 260 or 270 deaths from COVID. Comparably to the UK, which has a similar population, it's like 36,000 deaths. And it's nothing compared to America, but America has 300 million something citizens, and we're up over 130,000 deaths. And it's all because of the national effort that it took and everyone agreeing that we were going to do whatever it took to try to stop it. Everyone taking personal responsibility. And I think like that's my biggest problem with people that are like, having parties and stuff, and it's like not wearing masks when they're out in the public. It's like, it's very much all or nothing. It's like we're either gonna fix it all at once or we're not gonna do it any a little bit. And like when it comes down to wearing a mask, like there are people that will say like, oh, the negatives outweigh the benefits, and they're wrong. But it's just like, if you can do something, if you can do a little something to try to do your part, then that's what equates to the greater whole. And like I am not like romanticizing South Korea about this. This is just the facts. That's what they did, and that's where they're at. Like they didn't just flatten the curve, they crushed it. They crushed it because they just worked, like they did what they had to do. And it just seems like there's so many people that aren't willing to take that step, and it's just selfish. And I just anyway.
Yeah. I was talking about this yesterday in just my regular stream. I want to be like I want to engage people. I want to think that I'm a better person, where when I see someone spouting anti-mask nonsense, stuff that's not factual, like it lowers your blood oxygenation, or it is somehow reinfecting you, all these lies, all these inaccurate things that people are saying about masks specifically, I want to engage people and talk to them and be like, well, why do you think that? Well, don't you know, maybe that source is questionable. Like, because I feel like people are not trying to kill themselves. I don't think they are, even though it seems like they are, but I can't. It's like your reaction, Wade. Like, the reason I laughed at you, how mad you got, it's because it's the same. I feel the same thing.
Yeah.
I feel such an insurmountable rage that I can't just respond. I can't try to converse with them and you know, maybe they won't be convinced. People who believe these things, regardless of what the facts are, probably aren't going to be convinced. But like, I feel like, you know, I'd be a better person if I could do that. At least try. At least do something. I can't even engage. I can't do anything but try and stay silent, because if I don't stay silent, I'm gonna scream at people because it's insane and I don't understand it. And I feel like I don't know what to do with that, you know? I want to be the better person, but I can't engage. There's so many things in American politics right now, in the COVID response, in regards to the Black Lives Matter movement, the protests that have gone on, what has happened, evidence and proof of things that the government has done, completely unacceptable, inappropriate, illegal things that have gone on, and I can't engage with people who seemingly stare a fact in the face and then ignore it or see it to mean something else other than reality. I don't know how to engage with that, and it's driving me crazy.
I think it is. It's a lot to do with selfishness. There was a post on Reddit or somewhere that was a really succinct way of telling who is willing to do the bare minimum to be a competent, like, member of society, and it was like the shopping cart test. If you are the type of person that does not return your shopping cart, a very simple thing to do that has really no impact on your life but is beneficial to the experience of shopping as a whole, and this doesn't apply to anything else, but it is a universally agreed thing that, like, you shop, you bring the cart to your car, you return the cart, and everyone who sees these carts sitting out knows that those are the assholes. And it's like, asshole. Those people, if you don't return your cart to the cart return, you cannot be a functioning member of society. And that's just it. That's the test. And if you can't do that simple thing, then of course you're not gonna wear a mask, because it's all about you. It's all about you and your conveniences. You don't want to wear a mask because it's slightly uncomfortable. Oh no. Oh God. Woe is you. Like, just shove a shopping cart up the ass.
On a similar, on the same level, did you guys? I saw someone tweeting about I think it's the governor of Missouri, their quote on kids going back to school.
Oh my God.
So everyone is so caught up in, like, coronavirus, like, oh, it's just another flu, or, you know, not as many people die from it as they did from, I don't know, the Black Plague. Like, you know, they have all these excuses as to why the world should not quarantine for this. No one is talking about, I shouldn't say no one. Like, what's not being addressed, however, is the fact that, like, even if you don't die from coronavirus, there's some people that are going to be fucked up for life from what the effects are of having it. Not everyone's going to come through unscathed, just if you survive. And even the death numbers, if they're not enough to scare you, the side effects and the long-term effects should be. But the governor of Missouri, I got his quote up here, said, "These kids have got to get back to school. They're at lowest risk possible. And if they do get COVID-19, which they will, and they will when they go to school, they're not going to the hospitals. They're not going to have to sit in doctors' offices. They're going to go home and they're going to get over it." That's a governor on a pandemic that's killing thousands and thousands and thousands of people. That's a governor, someone that was elected to run a state. Just go home, get over it, survive. You got cancer? Walk it off. Like, the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah, it's,
Walk it off.
yeah, and I saw another thing that was like, okay, let's just, for the sake of the conversation, just be like, okay, sure, the deaths, you're gonna overlook the deaths, or you're gonna give an excuse for the deaths. That's fucked up, but okay. And there was a analysis of the repercussions of simply having it, and it's like if 1% of the population that gets it dies, which is that's a lot of people, but then a further 1% would have permanent lung damage. A further 1% would have blood clots and further problems like that. Another 0.5% was going to have strokes afterwards because of those blood clots. And then it was like further, like the cost to the economy of people not being able to work for the duration of the disease is like this much. And it's like every death is a tragedy. Number one. So why wouldn't you do everything you could to try to prevent more deaths, of which there have been over 130,000? But
But clearly that doesn't motivate some people. Some
Yeah, exactly.
people could not care less that strangers they don't know are dying across the country.
that just,
But beyond that, what you're saying is also true.
yeah, exactly. The future repercussions of it are so much worse than addressing it now. If you're of the type that's like, just let people get it, like it's fine, it's still like horrifically bad for the future of people that have had it, or if you want to think about just the economy, like getting to the point where we are right now on a trajectory to go to, it is going to cause devastation to both the economy and people's way of lives. And just like morale, like if you think about just like the morale of the country, it's lower than it's ever been. I would be willing to bet. Well, maybe not ever, but it's the lowest it's been in a long time.
Yeah, so like post World War II, maybe. I don't know. Maybe I didn't live through a lot of these things. I don't know what the Vietnam War was like. I don't know what the Korean War was like. In my lifetime, this is the highest level of utter disarray and complete lack of any sort of like real national cohesion. It's funny because a lot of people who are against masks and a lot of people who are spreading the misinformation or believing the misinformation would also say that they're huge patriots, right? Maybe this is overgeneralizing, but I see so many posts about like, I'm not a sheep, I'm a patriot, I don't wear a mask, I'm a nationalist, I believe. If true patriotism is not believing that your country is the best, even when it's not ignoring all the huge issues that are going on in your country, that's not patriotism. That's blind nationalism, which is more akin to being in a cult.
That word. Too many syllables.
I don't know. It's just insane. It's just crazy. But just look, chat. Just wear a mask. You know how easy it is to do your part and to just help make this issue less severe. All you have to do is wear a mask, and not even all the time. If you're in your own house, you don't have to.
Yeah.
You could stay home and never wear a mask if you just stay inside and avoid contact with humans. That's not really possible for a lot of people, but it's not hard. That's one of the more frustrating things for me too.
Yeah.
It's not hard. It's not complicated.
It is
It's not like
hard.
you have to do something that's physically challenging. You just don't get your mouth juices onto anything else.
Some people would have you believe wearing a mask is the worst thing. Like I envy people who the worst thing they've ever had to deal with is wearing a mask. Like my glasses fogged up. It was harder to breathe because I felt the moisture in the air from my mouth making moisture in my. It's like, oh Jesus fucking balls! Shut the fuck up.
Hey,
Oh
my
my God, I'm gonna
glasses
shove the
fog up
mask
too.
down
You know what?
into their lungs. Sorry.
It goes away. It's okay. You just wipe it off. Survive.
Yeah. It's like, for those who are saying masks don't work, that's not true. They don't do everything, but they do something. And if you're not doing something, then you're doing nothing. And that's worse. So do something. Wear a fucking mask. It's so simple.
Okay, I thought this was going to be a joke. I don't know if this is as funny to everyone else as it is to me. So
Go
to
for
button
it.
this up with a little humor, you can't, so we're talking about how distressing social media is, how people are believing things that are inaccurate, that are lies. even I had to laugh the other day because I was trying to order like a water filter or something on Amazon. It was just some mundane thing, and I was scrolling through Amazon and I was like, oh, maybe I should, maybe we should get some more masks, like some paper masks, just to have in case we need. So I went to go order just like some normal whatever cheapo masks just to have as backups. And even in the comment section of the masks, I go down there and I see people in all caps in the Amazon comment section who are just like, this mask won't protect you from COVID. It says right on the box it won't prevent you from inhaling anything. It doesn't even filter dust. And I was like, oh my God. In my social outlet feeds in all my outlets, I've seen so many people explaining what the masks do, why you wearing it protects others and not yourself. I feel like it's such an obvious thing at this point. There are still people who've missed that information. How do you misunderstand the point of the mask so deeply that you think wearing a paper mask that barely seals around the edges of it is filtering the air that you're breathing in? It's painful and it's hilarious, but at the same time, it's painful.
Yeah.
Sure is. This should never have become political. All the doctors, everyone out there is like, just wear a mask. It's that simple. Just wear it.
It really is. You know what doctors and nurses do every day for their 12-hour, 24-hour shift, 36-hour shift? They wear those masks.
Can you imagine going in for surgery and the doctor like isn't wearing a mask during the procedure? You'd be like, oh, but what if he gets like saliva in my organs or whatever? And then it's like, well, yeah, then they help. All of a sudden, it matters.
I want to be in the room with the person. They're on the table. They're about to put the gas mask on to like put him to sleep, and they look over. All the doctors are all wearing masks, and the person is like, "Wait, stop! You are going to pass out during my surgery with those masks on. I refuse to accept treatment from you unless you demask." And the entire room of trained medical personnel is just like, oh my God, we should let this one die, I think. Holy shit.
God, you ever go to a dentist and they lean over and gleam their white smile and they start licking their teeth and like, your teeth are looking as good as mine. Oh, you've been flossing.
I've never had that happen at the dentist office.
No,
go figure. They always have that mask on, huh?
that's weird, yeah. Strange. But they're doing that behind the mask. They are. They're like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
no, they're licking the lips and everything behind the mask. So that's what the mask protects.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly, yeah.
That little suction tube they put in your mouth and not them actually just...
They've
That
got the
suction
tube going
is
under.
actually tied into the mask. Yeah. You think it's a vacuum pump or something? It's literally just a dentist just like, oh yeah. Oh, that is clean. The taste as clean as it looks.
Yeah, listen, masks won't stop people from being weird, but hey, at least there's saliva.
But it's behind a mask and you're safe from it, no matter how weird they are.
Yeah,
Dentists.
exactly. Yeah, freaking dentists, man.
Looking at you, dentists.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to go back to a dentist now. I'm afraid of getting Mark's dentist.
What do you mean?
I think it's probably a really good thing. Mark himself has never been a dentist. I'm just guessing.
Yeah, well, hey, come on, that was my other choice. But, you know.
YouTube or dentist. So you took the aptitude test in high school and your counselor was like, honey, do you like teeth or do you like being a moron in front of people online? What do you go
Oh,
for,
I
kid?
gotta think about this one.
Just sitting there licking his lips. No.
We need to normalize dentists having see-through masks so that they can wear it.
Yes, now you're talking. Now you're talking.
That is just a whole nightmare of it in itself.
Every drop of saliva on that mask, we see it.
I'm just imagining everyone having like clear, like plasticky masks. Not to ignore the fact that that would probably be a very large risk of suffocation for actuals, but just being able to see everyone's mouth inside the mask. Because when you have that on, you feel like, no one can see my mouth, you know. But then like, what do people do? What do the people do when it's behind the mask with their own lips?
Just all the time.
Oh,
But they're all like fake kissing at each other. Like there's a dude who's in a store, and every attractive woman he walks by, he's just like, mwah, yeah.
it's like
Whoa.
it's like sunglasses, you know. They can't see what your mouth is doing or your eyes are doing, you know. Did you see? Oh god, there was a hilarious video of someone doing a striptease with a mask, and then they pull it off their ears all sensually, and when they drop it down, they've got one of those like nipple covers with the twirlies on it. And they just start spinning their head around. It's so fucking funny.
I haven't gone down the trail of pandemic porn yet.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, this is it's just like, oh my god. Actually, it was yesterday. Amy, she hasn't done this, but she suggested something that was a really good way, a non-confrontational way of when you see someone who's not wearing a mask, say in a grocery store or something like that. You don't say anything. You don't walk up to them. You just start pointing at them. You don't say anything, but you just point and stare, and then you track them wherever they go until they're out of view. And when they're out of view, you drop your finger, and then if you see them again, you just point.
I like that a lot, actually.
And then other people around you might pick up on it, and then everyone's pointing at this person with no mask. They're not saying anything. They're just pointing, letting them know.
Did you see the lady that I think it was a lady? No, it was a guy. Well, I don't remember. Someone was in like a video game, like a GameStop or something, and they were told they had to leave because they didn't have a mask on, and they just started throwing the shelves and shit everywhere. And there was another lady.
The only thing that happens in videos is
grocery cart. Yeah, I have a GameStop anyway, but there was another lady at a grocery store, and like she was told she had to wear a mask, so she started throwing all of her groceries out of her cart all over the place. Lovely.
Adults, am I right?
You can tell, yeah, you can tell the big brain people that probably should always be on house arrest anyway and shouldn't be allowed to function in society. And yet,
I do have to say, I can't imagine. So where I live in the Bay Area, when I go to the grocery store like once a week still, and I've gone to a couple other places. Never ever have I been inside a store that required a mask to enter and actually seen a human in the store not wearing a mask. Even people don't even like wear it for the door and then take it off inside. And I live in the Bay Area, so it's fairly liberal, I guess, compared to the country, but I live in like a conservative part of the Bay Area. Like, I don't live in like, you know, some hippie commune or something. So I can't imagine what it's like to live in parts of the country where if you're wearing a mask, people are shaming you.
Yeah.
Which seems like the most backward shit I could imagine.
Yeah.
Or like you're in a Walmart and there's 30 people all around you coughing on each other, not wearing masks, doing whatever, and it's like, it's got to be stressful and terrifying for people. Like, I can't imagine. Everyone around here, even if they don't like it, they're like, they're you know, going along. They're doing it against their will or whatever. I can't imagine what it must be like in other parts of the country though.
here, it's gotten better recently. Stores are starting to, I think, to enforce it. There's at least signs that say you have to leave if you don't wear a mask. They weren't enforcing that. So Molly and I went over to like Micro Center one day. We went to the grocery store. We had to go out for a couple different things. And it's been about 50-50 people wearing masks, not wearing masks, and it's gotten better. It's probably more like 80 to 90% of people wearing masks now, because the stores, even if you're not wearing it and they have a sign that says you will be forced to leave if you don't, they aren't enforcing it. But I would say when places first started reopening, which was probably early mid-June, it got to a point where everyone was wearing a mask, it seemed like, and then like early to mid-June, Molly and I went to the grocery store at one point, and it felt like we were the only two people other than the employees working there wearing a mask, and we definitely got looked at for wearing it. No one said anything, no one like pointed or went crazy, but you definitely got a look of like, oh, they're buying into this hoax, fucking idiots. And now the world's shutting down again. Yeah. So here in Ohio, it's definitely, there's plenty of people that I wish that we could put on a boat and just push it out to sea, and it's like, oh, forgot to give you gasoline, good luck. But alas.
Yeah, to go back to like South Korea, like I guess it's mask culture has never been a thing in America for some reason or another. Like even if people were sick with something else, like just a cold or a flu, you wouldn't wear a mask. You'd just have tissues in your pocket, and you'd be like, "Sorry, don't come near me," which is an important thing. Hey, social, just don't come near me, because people know how this whole disease things work. In the back of their mind, they're like, "Don't come near me. I'm sick. I don't want to get you sick. Don't touch me." Like that's a common thing, but mask wearing is not. Like in South Korea, if anyone gets sick, they wear a mask because they would say to themselves, "Oh, I don't want to get anyone sick. This is the easiest way to do it. I'll just put this on, and no one will get sick." And if everyone started wearing a mask here, then the cases would drop. precipitously.
It was passed somewhere that the states can't force people to wear masks or something, right? Like that was a thing, or states passed that that local governments couldn't make it a thing. There was something that passed that was really stupid, where they're like, you
I think
can't.
it was
force
Alabama's governor passed a thing that strongly recommended the wearing of masks and also prohibited county and local governments from mandating masks. I believe
So
is
Georgia.
what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
Georgia. It was one of those states in the southeast that maybe Georgia. Maybe.
Ohio's governor, last I heard, now I've not kept up with the news, this might have changed, I doubt it, but Ohio's governor, last I heard, did not make it mandatory to wear a mask. But I swear to God, his wording was basically like, you don't have to wear a mask, but pretty please do. Like, it was something along those lines almost exactly, which was crazy to see. But I know some states, are making it to where it's like, wear one if you want, but no, you cannot force people, which is crazy. And that was just saying that local governments couldn't make it mandatory. I think private businesses can still make their own rules about that kind of stuff. So like a Walmart, for example, could say you have to wear a mask if they wanted to. The scary thing is, like I said, nobody that I've seen, at least in Ohio, is enforcing these rules.
Yeah, I mean that's the big problem. Is even the police or the local government officials or the people who are in the positions where they are the ones who should be doing news articles, doing press conferences, saying, mayors, governors, police chiefs, people who should be saying like, look, you have to wear a mask. Like, these are the rules. We're enforcing the rules. The police will fine you, or you will, however it works. The people who are in those positions are some of the people in some of the parts of the country who think it's a hoax. Like, they're doing press conferences, not wearing masks, and basically being like, you see this shit? Nah, we good. And everyone who sees that, even if they were on the fence, or even if they don't like masks, they don't think the mask is necessary. If your mayor or your governor or your police chief or someone in a position of authority said to you, we have to do it, we have to wear masks, even if you would continue to protest, it would at least change your perception from I'm right and I know I'm right to I know I'm right, but why? Wait, like even my conservative Republican governor told me to wear a mask. Like, what the hell? Like, what's his problem? It at the very least sets a tone where the tone that's being set in a lot of places is masks are for dweebs. Don't wear a mask. You're fine. Which is just it's part of the problem, because it's just encouraging people who are misinformed or who don't give a shit to continue in that direction, to not give a shit and to not get any new info and to confirm exactly the worst things about what they think they know or what they believe about the pandemic or what. It's horrifying.
Yeah.
I want to
It's
throw
incredibly stupid.
So people that have been, in a position where they need to take their mask off for a moment or move it to like take a phone call, whatever have you, if you go, it's like a bathroom, I don't know. I did see where people have been pushing their mask down to their neck and then pulling it back up. And one source I saw, doctor tweeted it somewhere or something like that, said not to push your mask down over your neck and pull it back up, because any contaminants that have gotten onto your neck are now inside your mask and you're pulling it over your face. It's better to actually remove your mask if you need to move it for some reason or another and then put it back on than it is to push it down and pull it back up. Because you don't want to spread the mask to a spot that might have gotten something on there and then pull it back up over your mouth. So just keep that in mind. But also, if you're in public, don't take off your fucking mask.
That makes sense.
Just a little PSA out there I meant to mention.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how long you guys want to go into it. We're
Let's
preaching
not
to
talk
the
about this
choir.
anymore.
Yeah.
We're preaching to the choir, and everyone that's stupid is just gonna be like, "But it's my right to not wear them." And it's like, okay, please be banned forever from my chat.
It's not going to become personal for a lot of people until someone they know dies.
That's the worst
Which is
part.
going to be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of deaths from now
And it's
because of how big this country is.
Yeah, and what's so tragic is there are some people that are like vindictive when someone who had made claims on social media that oh, it's a hoax, it's nothing, and then there's a follow-up that they get the disease, and then there's another follow-up that they died. That is not, I would never laugh at that. Like, that's another tragedy, because every single death that has happened from this and will happen through the ignorance of people is another tragedy. And it's a tragedy that could have been prevented. And I say it could have because I know it could have. If we had done everything right from the very beginning, of which we didn't and still aren't, then it would have been a case like with South Korea. Like, it's just like there is clear evidence of a country doing it right, or New Zealand, who has no cases at the moment, or numerous other countries that have done it
I mean,
right.
even if you want an example that's closer in size to America,
Yeah.
continental Europe is in a decent way right now. The borders are not shut down between all of the nations in Europe. People are enjoying their summer. People are feeling safer. They're still following the guidelines. They're continuing to wear masks and be cautious. But they have done an adequate job of flattening the curve to the point that they could safely reopen things, and they are allowing people to go about their lives in a more normal way. And Europe is not like those countries you're mentioning, Mark, where they have like almost no case. Like they still have cases. It's still a thing. But it's possible to contain it with such a small amount of effort. It's literally like the least you could do. It is easier to put a mask on your face and wash your hands and be polite and clean in public spaces than it is to do almost anything else I could imagine. It's such a small thing.
Yeah.
But should we take a break and then move on to video games?
Yeah, let's check out. I gotta go bathroom.
My anger levels back to normal salt levels rather than where they are, thinking about this.
Yeah, one last thing is like, we're trying to help. Is when we say this, and if you are like, I don't want to hear it, is like, or you're wrong, it's like, we're trying to help. That's all we want.
I've seen this in chat too much to ignore it as well. To anyone out there who is hitting chat with the old, hey, some people can't wear a mask. You don't know people. The percentage of the population that cannot wear a mask for medical reasons or because they are so claustrophobic that they will have some medical issue as a result is not as high as the percentage of people who are choosing not to wear a mask. And we're not talking about them. I am not trying to judge anyone who has a legitimate medical reason that they cannot wear a mask. I understand that that's the case. There's a bunch of fucking assholes out there who aren't wearing masks on purpose, and they know who they are. You know who you are. You're not probably here because you guys are all cool in chat, but they know who they are. We're talking about the assholes, not the people with legitimate medical purposes.
I don't even know who has those. Like my mom, for example, is on. I just typed this in my chat. My mom has a breathing machine she has to do because her lungs are so bad. She's like the prime susceptible person to COVID because of all the different lung issues she has going on. And for her job, she has to wear a mask 8 hours a day, and she does it, and she's perfectly fine. Sure, there might be a handful of people who can't wear a mask. I don't know why you couldn't. I don't know what it really blocks or stops, but 99% of people saying they can't wear a mask are just fucking liars.
Yeah.
Fucking liars.
Really.
Anyway, I felt like I had to address that because don't devil's advocate. Don't try and give people excuses. If someone has an excuse, then they probably shouldn't be in public endangering themselves. But that's not who we're talking to, and that's not what we're talking about. Just wear a mask. It's super easy.
Yeah.
It's super safe. They cost like 30 cents each. Or you can make one. You can sew one with your own hands. It's adorable.
Yep.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
All right.
We take a 5-minute break.
5 minutes.
Yep.
Be back. Brand.com. Hi. Hello. How you guys doing? Good to see you. The other guys probably aren't back yet, so I'm just going to carry on with what I got going on here. Yeah. Hello. Hi. Oh, this is just a cloak brand mask. Very nice. Very fashionable. Lovely. Yeah. It's nice. Cloakbrand.com. Yeah, not too bad. Thank you. Thank you, I know. It's lovely. Yeah, I just felt like wearing it. It's comfortable. Good. Anyone back yet?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Hello.
I don't ever have anywhere interesting to go.
You don't even need to go to the bathroom.
Not yet. It'll hit me in like 10 minutes because that's, you know, the way it works. Like, you know, everyone else is back and it's like, well, now I gotta go.
Yeah, that is the way it goes.
Yeah.
So what? Well, we already know where we're playing.
Yeah, it's true. We do have a game in mind.
Yeah, we do have a game in mind. So we don't need game suggestions from anyone else. That's for sure.
Simpler times, wasn't it? When people giving us unwanted game suggestions was the worst thing we had to do.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's always going to be idiots no matter what you do. But they're our idiots, so we got to protect them from themselves.
Well, I just banished half my audience forever, and I told them to never come back. So I don't have.
I mean, for the best. Sometimes you need a good purge.
Yeah. I basically told them after they listened to everything that we just had to say, if they still disagree, just to leave. I don't have it in my capacity to deal with them anymore. You want them?
No, I'm okay. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
I'm excited to play just a
nice, relaxing game like the one we're about to play. Yeah.
Not my before I said that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, can't wait. This is gonna be great. I wonder if there's been any big updates to it. Minor updates, bug fixes. Yeah,
Also,
something
I
coming along.
haven't had a chance to watch, but I did see that you tried a new Pogo Stuck map. Did you like that map?
Oh my god, we need to play.
Yeah,
It's
gonna be on our
so
list for some
much
point.
harder. It's so much harder. They made, like, from the very beginning, it's so much harder. Like,
Cool.
I can't explain it. Like, if you guys do it, like, oh man, more power to you. But if we did it together with, like, the bungees, then maybe it would be moderately tolerable. But without it, like, oh my goodness. Can't even believe it.
Is it that loud?
Yeah. Dude, your mechanical keyboard sucks. I always hear it. No, everyone shut up. No game suggestions. None. Yeah, there we go. That's what I thought.
I looked up to a highlighted message with channel points that just says potatoes are delicious. And honestly, that's the most logical thing I've read all day.
That's probably true. I have not set up my channel points yet. I haven't managed to do it.
I've never looked at them. Whatever comes on by default is what we got. And everyone's been telling me for months, wait,
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I always come back in time to get us in trouble. You always come
Yeah.
back
What's
to
wrong
get
with you?
Oh,
What's
no.
wrong with you?
Nothing's wrong with me. I'm great.
All right,
I'm
fair enough.
excellent. I'm eating some homemade broccoli cheddar soup right now.
Oh, wow. That's nice.
Delightful.
That sounds great, man. Congratulations.
Made live on stream Sunday afternoon. I stream on Facebook.
Wow.
Did you guys know I stream on Facebook?
Where on Facebook? What's the URL?
Facebook.com/MyScrim or fb.gg/MyScrim. That's the one.
Ooh, that's
Both good.
fantastical. That's unimaginable. That sounds wonderful.
It's definitely unimaginable because 90% of people still don't know.
Facebook.com/MyScrim, you say?
That's the one.
What an interesting and fascinating place to be.
It's delicious.
Oh my god, the menus are different. Guys, the menus.
Oh.
Oh, you're
You're
there.
God, you're ahead of us.
Aren't we playing the game?
Yeah,
What-
I know, but we were here like, oh, we're ready. Wade and I were like, yeah, we're ready to go.
just
Ready
didn't
now.
I mean, I was right there with you, I guess, but then also, like, I'm going.
Yeah, you're